Hello and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. A bit of a different setting today, boys. Sitting down here, a bit professional. We like it. Obviously, we are being joined today after following a win, a convincing win, 50 points. How are we feeling?
Quite relaxed, mate. First real kind of, not blowout, but good, comfortable win for a while. I think it's been, when was our last 50-point win?
Yeah, we've been a while,
wasn't it? The Dogs in 2020, I say last 50-point win.
Wow.
Yeah. So 17, 12, 114 plays, 10 goals for, which is pretty accurate, 64. 50 points is a good win. Could we have won by more?
Yeah.
Yes.
So took the foot off the gas a little bit in the last quarter. We could have really drove them home, but I said 50 points, take it over a 20-point win every day.
Yeah, absolutely. More the better. But I think even our 2 tall forwards kicked, 7 goals between them and then about the same behind, wasn't it? I think what was Charlie, 3 goals, 3 or 4?
3-4, I think.
3-4.
Yeah.
Harry was 4-2, which isn't too bad.
That's
I think
too bad.
He converted pretty well.
And Cripper as well. I think he missed a few there.
Yeah, he missed a shocker at the start.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I don't need to be negative. Win's a win.
Yep.
50 points is always good. We'll get stuck into our predictions. I had us by 26 with Bam Bam being best on. Played well. Wouldn't say he's best on, but played well. I had Charlie for the first goal, which obviously did not happen, which we'll get to in a second. Ethan, what did you have, mate?
Blues by 34. I believe I had Cripper best on, so I guess that's subjective. Because, Sardi was good, Cripper was good, so... but Blues by 34 was
definitely
close.
made a case for Cripper, I would have thought.
Yeah, mate.
I blew Bays by 39, Cripper best on, and Harry McKay to kick first goal. I actually had Jesse Motlop first goal, but he wasn't played.
Nah,
Did he hit the first goal on twos? Or?
But I hope so.
I don't think
I
so.
wouldn't know. But but then I had Blue Bays by 39. But I just think overall, Cripper once again. Brownlow Crips really.
Pretty much, mate. How about you, mate?
So I went with a conservative 20-point win for the Baggers, which I'm glad I was not really close for that. And then I had Sardi for my bog, which I thought was a pretty good shout in the end.
Yeah.
And I went Sauce first nag, which didn't happen, but...
Yeah. When you said that, I was like, Sard, that's not going on. But he's bloody close.
Yeah,
bloody
he's
close.
fantastic.
He's worse for mine, which we'll get to in a second, mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something you would have been happy with. You wouldn't have been happy that Williams was laid out, but with calf tightness. But you would have been happy with the replacement, Lockie Plowman. How did he go, mate?
He was sensational. I think he held us down back there. He was spoiling everything. Was linking up well, I think, as well in general play as well. He was didn't really put too many foot wrong on the weekend, which is really good. He played probably his best game for a while, I think.
Didn't put too many foots wrong. That's what we want to hear. All right. It was right in front of us, actually. It was where I was sitting. We were 3 rows back. And he was just the first few minutes. He made a few mistakes. It was nothing terrible. And the guy behind me was just absolutely just abusing him. Like, giving him it was terrible. So then when Wiedering made a mistake, I was like, why don't you give him shit too? I think people are unfair to Plowman. We do talk on it, but I think people are unfair to Plowman. But then, for 3/4 of the game, for a majority of the game, he was very quiet. So it was good to see. Speaking of good to see, how was the first goal?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
it was on the pocket where I was sitting, and it was unexpected, but it was a fair goal for your first goal. I think there's a few players, especially debutants, who they tend to start half forward, and there's a few first goals, which is surprising. It's not an easy thing to do, but it was a good start for the kid.
What is his first goal? Obviously first goal for the game. How good is that? Just within the first couple of minutes, get that out of the way. You're not worrying about another game or a couple of games. Get it out of the way. Worst case, you don't touch the ball again. You've hit the goal, You've done well.
Well, considering he got smashed with his first touch, I was like, oh, geez,
Yeah,
welcome to the AFL, mate.
Yeah.
But he looked great. He looked great on Saturday night.
Absolutely. Better debut than Andrew Walker, or no, not quite there?
Not quite there. Walks was against the Eagles at Icon, wasn't it? His debut, I believe so.
Defeated, yeah.
05?
4 or 5, yeah.
No, it was a good debut.
Absolutely. Speaking of good, the midfield demolition continues. Whether we win, whether we lose, that's the one thing you can count on. Top 6 players for most disposals were Blue Baggers. 5 obviously last week when we lost. And this week, even in the bottom 11, we only had 3, including their sub and our sub. We only had 3. So it was very much led by the midfield, but it was a team effort as well. Like just everyone, there was only a couple of players under 10 disposals, and they're subbed off or subbed on. Then players that don't need big disposals. I think Martin didn't get too many, but he kicked 2 goals. So How's that, mate? Midfield demolition.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely spot on. Just because, I don't know, I just think overall, once again, they showed up, but I think it was good this week, especially because no one had like 40 touches and no one had 3 touches. It was kind of just all just like, as a collective, I reckon that's the best game they've played this year.
Yeah,
definitely.
and Vossi did say in the post-match, that's one thing he was just very happy with, just the way they played as a team, whether it was even something as simple as, a Shepherd, just a 1-2, whether it was standing up for your mates in that bit of the scuffle that we saw, which is always good to see, and just the way we played as a team. Do you agree with that speech?
100%. I think obviously last week against the Dockers we had too many individuals and too many passengers, and I think that's what we sort of talked about in our review of that Freo game. And then I think the whole team lifted. There wasn't everyone did a job, even if they didn't have many touches, they still did a job. So no passengers this week. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I will just read through the top 6 real quick. So it was Cripper with 35, Doherty 33, Walshy 29, Chera 26, 25 to Sard, and 24 to Matthew.
25 to Sard. That is really good, isn't it?
He was I don't know what his percentage is there. It's cut off, but he was so clean. Just the way he mops it up. Yeah, whether it's in the back line or on the wing, wherever he is with it, the way he mops it up and disposes of it is first class, in my opinion.
Is that arguably his probably the best game he's played in Navy Blue?
I think in terms of the complete game, with offensively and defensively, 100%.
And I think he's definitely shut up the critics about his defending.
Yeah.
Because one-on-one, he killed him. I think this year, he's been solid defensively. He's really improved. I think as a team, we've improved defensively, apart from some lapses against, Hawthorn and Port Adelaide, and, the Gold Coast game was one to forget. But I think defensively, we look like we held up well. So, and credit to him.
Because he's not overly tall.
No.
I guess he's probably like you, mate, a bit vertically challenged. So but yeah. So just to see the way he leaps,
extremely quick.
Exactly right.
Sure.
Him, not you. But yeah, just the way he leaps through. As I said, defensively, offensively, he was just it was good to see. Yeah. But also, as expected, we did lose the hit out. I think that was expected. I think that's expected most weeks. I've been overly critical. It's still solid enough though. I think it was 20 to TDK and then 10 shared between what that is. I mean, it was Cripper, Harry and Sauce. Yep. Yeah. So 30 overall to 56. 30 is our average, so that is what it is.
TDK did lead the game in hit-outs to advantage though.
Yeah.
So, which was
exactly
surprising.
Right.
So I think Goldie's winning the hit-outs, but again, mids were doing a really good job of sharking it as well. Obviously that shows in the clearance stats.
Yeah. Exactly right.
I feel with TDK did well at halving the contest. Yep. Like a lot of the time, North didn't get out too easy often, apart from a few instances in the first half, but he just really halved the contest, especially around the stoppage.
Yep.
And credit to him. I think he's a good player. I think he struggled the last few weeks, but I think him taking the role of the number 1 ruckman right now because of Pitto being out, I think he's just going to improve from there.
I think that takes some pressure on him as well because the club obviously would have looked at him and been like, look, you really need to stand up. And it was good that on the weekend he just stood up. But he's probably kept a guy like Murkov out for a few more games.
Yeah, and I think Murkov's still got to develop. What is he? We picked him up mid-season last year.
And he's young.
And he looks like he's developing well. Seen some of his highlights with ball in hand, and it's good to see, but I trust Teddy K.
He's a big boy, isn't he? We were there at the VFL, as you expect.
There's nothing small about him.
But just standing next you'd know, mate. Standing next to Matthew Cruz, though, you just made him look as short as Jack. It was crazy. But so obviously lost the hit outs, but then, as you mentioned, clearances 45 to 34, centre clearances 22 to 8, and then stoppage clearances thereabouts 23 to 26. We just looked in control. For most of the game, we just looked like they were just chasing tail. Yeah. Our uncontested possessions 249 to 150. Sorry, 249 to 155, which is almost 100 difference. That is crazy. Yeah. Don't give me anything, boys. It's all right.
Crazy.
No, I think with uncontested possessions, it allows us to hit a target forward of the ball. Because I think in the past stoppage works good, but if you're just rushing it forward, I think last year was a problem under Teague. It's just long bombed forward, which are good at the time, but they just never really leads to actual opportunities on goal. So that's good.
Right. No, thanks for giving me.
No worries, mate.
I appreciate it. Leave me hanging there like the rest. They laid 5 tackles inside 50 compared to our 17, which I think is a stat we sort of spoke about a little bit late last year in terms of just that pressure almost. And I'll go directly to you, but I want you to get your boys' opinions as well. Matthew Always, how do you feel about his game, mate?
I think he was very good. I think he kicked 2 goals. His pressure was fantastic. I think our pressure in that second half was the best I've seen in a long, long time.
100%.
Like just really hunting the footy, and no, it was good to see. And 5 tackles from them is not great from them, but I think that also is a credit to our halfbacks in Sard getting it out easier. Obviously, it's hard to tackle a guy that quick. But yeah, what do you reckon, Pato?
Absolutely spot on. I think he's probably the best game he's probably played this year. And just once again, just the pressure, because even Durden, he didn't have probably the greatest game he's played this year. But once again, I just think that his pressure. And one guy that I had a lot of heat on last week, Zach Fisher, he was good, wasn't he? He was really good. And he got 21 touches. I don't think he kicked a goal, but his football smarts, arguably the best in the team, because he just the way, and I love that crafty left footer. And I love that inside forward 50 as well. Just I think it was the kick when he kicked it to Nunes across the body. And it's just that's what you want. Because I've been saying, I don't know what his role is. I think he's kind of now just that crafty left footer, X factor sort of player.
Yeah.
Really good to see.
Absolutely. How many tackles did he always have, mate?
8.
Wow.
Is that game high?
Well, for us, Simpkin had 10 for them.
10? Yeah, but he was chasing us.
Yeah,
He was chasing his ass. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is crazy. Just considering, you're giving him a little bit of... he hasn't been up to his best.
No.
And that's fair to say.
I have high standards of him. I know he only started last year, really. But the standards he put in last year in his first, 2 months of footy was fantastic. So obviously the standards increase, and the other night he was fantastic.
Absolutely, mate. Anything else to add?
I think just on that, I think first half, we tried to pinpoint targets inside 50 a little bit too much, which we had to do against Freo, but we didn't. But then we realised Harry's playing on bringing Aiden Bonner. Get the ball in there, let him jump at the ball, and then that gave opportunity for guys like Always and Durden to put the pressure on when the ball hit the deck. So I think that was much better in the second half. And
when I saw it initially, Harry on, I was like, mate, he's gonna have a day out. But because I'm actually surprised that Josh Walker took Curnow first. That's what I was probably most surprised about a little. But what a game by the 2 keys, eh?
Yeah.
That's the good thing, I think. We're just having them 2 actually, just dominant key forwards, whatever.
Yeah.
Just one of them's going to take, the best of, and obviously, I think Ben being out was obviously massive for us as well.
Four as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, but even so, just having 2 of them big dominant forwards, obviously, as you see, 7 goals, whatever it was, between them. One of them's going to take the better defender. It's going to free someone else up for different periods of the game. I think definitely helps, boys.
Yeah, 100%.
You're a big goal kicker yourself.
Yeah, big goal kicker. have a kick one this year on the wing. But I think our 2 key. It's just so much easier to watch footy when you have 2 good key forwards. I think Harry's kicked 19 Charlie's kicked 19 and Harry's kicked 17, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they're both in the top 5. It was the Collins, so
that's the thing. They're not going to have, in the grand scheme of things, who cares about the individual accolades, really? We play for premierships, and that's the thing with having 2 of them. They're probably not going to get, stealing goals of each other the way they do. They're probably not going to get...
No, they complement each other well. They're 2 different forwards. I don't think it's they're not like 2 twin towers. They're more Charlie's more he's a different forward for mine. It's hard to explain what Charlie is because he's so good on the ground. I think Harry's fantastic on the ground. Yeah,
and he's quick.
Yeah,
extremely quick.
Me personally, I think Harry Mackay's the best forward in the league. Just the way he's just a different forward, and I think he cops a bit for snapping, and that's just
he kicks him.
But he kicks him.
How many did he snap on the weekend?
What, 3?
Well, he took a couple of marks on the wrong side, so we couldn't snap him.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
But as a drop punt wise, I think
he had that drop punt from pretty much outside 50.
Yeah, and he just pops it. It was a half kick. It was literally he didn't kick through it.
I obviously being there, watching commentary back, I think it was why even worry about alternatives when kick it that far, just as simple as that. You know what I mean?
But the thing is that goal is such a good goal. That won't be on a highlight reel.
No.
But Joe Danaher will kick the exact same goal and go off.
Yeah.
So it's different. But we'll move on from Joey Danaher.
You're the one that brought him up. So, one thing I was very happy with, and Vossi was as well, they say about great minds, they think alike, the high intensity for the entire game, or there or thereabouts for the entire game. There was no real drop-offs as such.
No.
It was pretty... I think we've got to be
minimised the
realistic.
drop-offs.
Yeah, we've got to be realistic in the sense of who we played.
Yeah.
Without being too overly critical. But it was good to at least see 4 quarters of football speech, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was very good to minimise those drop-offs, as you said, Ethan. Yeah, there's not really much else to say about that. It's just good to see consistent footy and not let them get back in when we get a big lead.
I think with minimising the drop-offs is we've had a whole half of drop-offs in the past, especially this season. And last season was pretty much fucked. Like it was 6 to 7 goals, swings that can't be happening.
19
at AFL level, that just can't be happening. But I think there was only a little patch in the second quarter, maybe a little patch in the first where they kicked a few, but there was only like 2 or 3 goals, and then we'll just get it back. So no, we did a very good job. But as you said, opponents.
Were you worried at any point?
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
No. I feel like as soon as they brought the pressure early, I was like, North can't keep up.
Yeah, you
North
could
couldn't
tell.
keep up.
Like especially the mids, they they could not keep up.
Like, literally, as soon as Cripper was named, literally, because I was speaking with my mate, Jacob Lewis, shout out, but Luke Davies-Uniacke, probably like the only guy who's really like a tagger. Hugh Greenwood was on him a bit. But he's still got 35 touches.
Yeah.
Exactly right. There's no, what do they say? There's no kryptonite for kryptonite.
There's no kryptonite for kryptonite.
Shout out Dwayne Russell.
Dwayne's world. They were just great teammates, Bossy said. And you have to agree. Yeah. Obviously, just my memory's pretty bad, but obviously Youngie got pushed under the ball, and just the way a few of them got stuck into him. Cripper held back because there was no need for the ball to get in, and when the other little ones are doing his job for him, the way Plowman got in there was good. You would have
Very good at that.
Jack would have loved that, I reckon.
I did.
Luckily,
anything the player does.
Luckily, you were sitting on the top out of the way.
God walking, mate.
Yeah, just the way you see like.
Yeah, but I think the thing with that is compared to last year, I think there was a big moment where Pitto, I think the Port game last year,
That was a
Pitto and Lysette were going at each other, and they were laying on the ground for about the whole game almost, and no one's.
That's right.
Remember that? And I was kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I didn't know what was going on. Not one teammate did.
Yeah.
Stocker last year kicked a goal against Melbourne.
Yeah.
No one got around him. It was his first goal. And that, it's completely changed. The culture of a footy club is massive.
Yeah.
Weedering kicks a goal now and everyone gets around.
Yeah, how good was that?
That was good.
But last year would have been one high five from Liam Jones.
Yeah.
Just the culture.
I actually had to look up into the coach's box to see if Brendan Bolton was there.
I literally said as soon as he got the 50, I'm like, Bolt's there.
Yeah.
Same.
Nah, it was good. It was 100 metre penalty, wasn't it?
100,
It was a reversal. They had a free kick.
It was
reversal.
150 metres.
150 metres.
Yeah.
But
Right, mate.
could have
Someone
incoming call.
beat it,
I think Rossi's call.
Yeah. Recruiting straight for the Waverley Blues over the day.
Shout out, Vossi.
Shout out. Obviously, I did see him in the car.
Yes,
He gave me a
yeah.
wave, said hello to me. He didn't actually speak to me. The window was up. But anyway, he was there. He gave me a bit of a wave. So that was good to see. 7 goals, 6 to our 2 big men. We spoke about that. The ruck battle, we'll go into a little bit again. So there's 56 hit-outs between Carlton Jones and Goldie.
Yep.
20 to TDK, 10 between Harry, Cripper and Jack. How do you see that? Are you happy enough? Obviously, Pitlet's out, so we don't really have an alternative besides Murkov. Are you happy to continue with the one ruckman? It's working well. Keep it up.
Yeah. I think also Jack provides that kind of like fourth midfielder feel when he's in there. I think he's definitely good enough to be a midfielder, Jack. Obviously, we're pretty stacked in there currently. Can't believe I'm actually saying that. Carlton's stacked in the midfield.
Yeah.
But I like it. I don't really think their bigs were too impactful. I think Goldie was good in the first half because we just kept kicking to him. So, but we minimised their impact and it was good. Coleman Jones is one of those trotters. He doesn't do much.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it was good.
Is it a case of, in terms of just have TDK, obviously the sole ruck, then... And I'm not exactly the most strategical footballer of all time, but if it's in the back line, Lewis Young is quite tall. Whoever, or if you have TDK there, that's the ideal. Forward, Harry goes just case by case type thing, or how would you, if you were in charge, how would you sort of like it to set?
Well, usually basics in footy, your rucks don't really go too deep into the forward line. Yeah, they usually. He probably would take, TDK would take the stoppages and that in the back line. So, because Young's obviously got an opponent. So, yeah. But I don't mind Harry, and sometimes he's a bit, I don't know, but yeah.
Don't mind him in there, or you don't?
No, I don't really. I want him to impact kicking goals, so rather than someone else going.
Yeah. I don't mind it when it's on the side for his left foot, so he can do a Tom Hawkins and snap around.
Yeah, well, he almost did it. He almost did that. Yeah.
So, but when it's on his right foot side, no.
Now. we have to mention it as we film this right now. It's almost midday on
Monday.
what day was that?
Monday.
Monday. All right. And so I haven't seen if the club's challenged it yet or anything like that. But as it stands, Stocker and Young both copped a week, which I think you'll get stuck into a bit later on. You're a bit fired up about it, but.
Yeah, I just heard on Twitter that we have challenged the Young one, and we're still 50-50 on the Stock one, obviously, because he's injured, so there's probably no point.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I think we need to do the Young one. I think it will turn into a fine, surely. Not in the AFL, it won't.
I still can't believe, because what was it? High impact.
High impact, body contact, careless conduct.
But the player...
can't believe
But Zerha came back on.
Even
though I think he initiated the contact almost.
Yeah.
In a sense, he ran straight to him.
Lewis
the
Young
ball's there.
was going for the ball.
Yeah, it's just
That's what I
momentum, and
understand.
they just both collapsed.
Yeah.
So
With the, I think it was Larky one that pushed
that's got to be more.
Young under it. Like, that's the thing, if Young just jumped that bit higher, then he sort of pushed him. He falls up more
backwards, yeah.
on the neck.
Spine stuff. It could be worse.
It could be worse. Do you suspend them because of what could have happened or what did happen?
I think, Ryder got 2 weeks for that hit on Will Day. That was because of the outcome when there was nothing in it. But then, there was more potential, damage for Young from Larky's hit, but he only got 1 week. So I think the action rather than the outcome.
Should Larky have got 2 weeks or how many?
Well, I think probably 2, considering
2?
Young got a week for a football act in play, whereas
Larky did the whistle webber, and then he,
plays dead.
Which I think tunneling is one of the worst things in the AFL, because the guy could land on his neck and be out for months.
Yeah.
So it was lucky.
Especially with concussion
Yeah.
being taken so seriously as it should be.
Yeah.
I think
on the receiving end in the last week.
Yep.
But,
I think personally, it's just I reckon they should kind of look to more towards the outcome that could have happened. Because what happens if this guy? Let's hope it never happens. But they're trying to get this action out of the game. Why not say, all right, you get 6 weeks because we don't want that anywhere near our game. Even Plowman last year, what did he get for that? 3.
He got 2 weeks for that hit on O'Meara, but he was just going for footy.
Exactly. But I think that's the action that we don't see much anymore. Especially with, I think it was the Adelaide player, McKay and Hunter Clark last year as well. That got a bit of, that got heaps of backlash. Heaps of backlash. And I just think that was, I think they're just trying, and right now they're getting that out of the game. I think that's probably the next thing. Just the tunneling, it's shocking. Need to get it out of the game.
We'll give it 5 years and there'll be touch footy. So
No bumps.
Like,
but you have that little Velcro thing. You have to pull them off.
Are they serious? Young's bum, you couldn't ask for more.
No.
That is a
Did you
perfect
say
bump.
Young's bum? Is that what you were?
Bumped.
I agree. Yeah, I love Lewis Young.
He was fantastic on the weekend.
Good.
I think he's ahead of.
He's got a bit of.
He's ahead of OMAC for mine by a long way.
Yeah, he's got a bit of mongrel about him.
It's interesting. You kind of change every week who's ahead of who.
Yeah.
But I see more potential in him than OMAC. I think.
You know what?
How comes his ball use?
Yeah.
It's one of our best ball users.
Yeah.
At back,
Do you disagree? You?
No, I don't disagree.
Okay.
I just know that's the OMAC sort of play. You know what you're getting, whereas Young can get better.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, we'll get stuck into our best on ground. We've obviously mentioned a few players. It is hard because it's very subjective between quite a few players, I would think. Speechley, what do you got for us, mate?
Well, I went with the prediction with him going Bog, so I just want to make myself seem right. So I've gone Sardi for Bog once again. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks I've gone Sardi. No, he's just that consistent.
It's not bad because
I know he frustrated how that had been the start of last season. So it's character development. We like it. 25 touches, 14 of them kicks, 6 marks at 88% efficiency with 12 intercepts. He was just, as we touched on earlier, just very, very good in every facet of the game. Don't think he put a foot wrong all game. So it was, very, very good once again.
Absolutely, mate. Hello.
Brownlow Crips, boys. I reckon he'll definitely get the 3 votes once again.
Sure.
35 touches, 1 goal with a snap. That the crowd was a bit. You could tell that when Cripper kicked that, he'd just be like, fuck, trust me, because as soon as he kind of lined up for the snap, especially where I was sitting, the kind of everyone was like, fuck, no, don't do it. Trust him, and if he gets the job done, then I don't mind it. But Brownlow Crips. Best on ground for me.
He could have cemented that 3 votes if he just kicked them.
One straight in front.
Yeah. That's just cemented if he kicked them.
Yeah, mine is Harry Mackay. I agree with both of you guys. I think Sard and Cripper were absolutely fantastic. I think Sard probably best on for mine. Just the impact he had at half back was just fantastic. For mine, it's a bit biased. Harry's probably my favourite player in the football club, but Harry was fantastic. The ball's in the air, in a 50-metre radius of Harry, knew he was going to mark it.
Yeah.
That's a special thing about him. Like It's like, for Vola, those types of guys, you just know they're just going to get it.
Yeah.
And, mate, his best hands in the league, best forward in the league, 15 touches, 11 marks, 4
11
goals.
marks. That's what I was. I'm like 11 marks. I reckon
His work rate was really good. getting back in the
unbelievable.
ball,
Just
yeah.
getting up the ground.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a bit iffy about too high up the ground.
Yeah,
like how
me too.
high does he have to be? But
too.
it was working, and I think it's good with Kerno that we're not kicking to Owies 1-on-1 or something in the 50. Kicking to a Kerno. So and 9 contested possessions
So,
for a big fella.
Yeah,
he's not. He's bigger than the Rucks.
Yeah.
He's taller than Goldstein.
Yeah.
So
How tall is he? 202.
24, is it?
taller.
That
He's
is
taller than Goldstein in the Rucks.
Yeah,
contest.
that is unbelievable.
And the
isn't
way
it?
he runs, like his aerobic capacity is like absolutely nuts. So, he's fantastic. I think he could challenge the Coleman again.
Yeah.
How tall is his speech?
It's 204.
204.
Cool,
Quick,
thank you.
quick Google
Spot on.
search. He's good with the technology, Sammy Carlton.
Yeah, it's all right. No, I read it in the Herald Sun the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Ruffy's article.
No, shout out.
Shout out.
He'll be watching the show. I've got Sardi. You touched on it beautifully. Nothing
Thanks,
else
mate.
to add there. But speaking of you,
Thanks, mate.
we're going to throw to you now for everyone's my favourite part of the show.
Yeah.
Your favourite part.
It's definitely up there.
I look forward to this each week, and I look forward to it more this week because I know he's actually fired up. About
Yeah, I
it.
can
So
see the steam coming out of
Speak up, Speechley.
Yeah, so this week, we won by 50 points. There's not much to talk about. There's not nice to get fired up. But Michael Christian, the MRO, seriously, we just touched on it. Seriously. Seriously.
Oh, no.
Like what, Lewis Young, what are you supposed to do when a guy's running full pelt at you? What are you supposed to do? Just move out the way, just sidestep so Zerha can run forward and kick a goal? Sure. And then Stocker, clean bump. But nah, apparently we don't want any bumps. No bumps. Touch-free football, bruise-free footy like Jaden Stevenson all game. Sure. That's what Michael Christian wants. And I just cannot get through my head how Larky can get the same punishment as Stocker and Young, who were just playing footy, just football acts, just incidental really knocks really.
Pushing.
And instead of someone physically trying to hurt someone, same consequence. Like, what? I don't get it.
I think we need a fire extinguisher in here.
It's just frustrating. Like the inconsistencies with the MRO, and like it all started with the Mitch Robinson suspension and the Paddy Ryder suspension. They're just suspending the wrong incidents, and it's just frustrating. Like, seriously, get it together.
It's confusing the players too, I think. Like, what do I do? Do I go hard now? Do I stay back? Do I let him literally grab the ball and then try and tackle him? Or do I try and win the ball like I'm taught to through juniors? Like, it's sending a bad message in my opinion.
The thing with Young's one, the ball's in dispute. So it's like, it was a 50-50 contest.
Yeah.
Like, what is he supposed to do, honestly? Like, if we're taking that out of our game, it was a great bump. Like, imagine if he, jumped out of that and we would have bagged him. So what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the difference.
It's a mix.
Dan,
Yeah.
Dan, if you don't.
Yeah, it's...
And then I think now, like, especially with the players, they have so much to think about now because especially now with the umpires, like, they haven't helped as well, like saying all this stuff about, hands out, it's free kick. Like, they have so much to think about.
I
And
think
they're not actually...
I think it's more in the AFL with the umpires. I think the rule, like
Of course.
the alterations with rules and the whole dissent thing.
Yeah,
Are
but
they as
that
confused
That
as
no,
the players?
MRO is different. MRO is
but
different.
that can't happen because with Willie Rioli a few weeks ago, how he got off
is a joke.
and then how Mitch Robinson got a week as well.
Cochin tripping Tex that time.
It's just
What
unbelievable.
was if he tripped Tex and then texted his knee or something?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
He would have got suspended for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. Like, that's the inconsistency. It's just I think it's mostly about the outcome that might happen. That's not what it should be. It should be action gone
Well,
completely.
if it's that, then how deep do you go? Do you go, that trip from Cochin could have meant Tex knocked himself out? I don't know. Like, how far do you go with it? What could have happened?
I think you got
don't go what could have happened.
Yeah, like he's obviously... Well, I mean, obviously something that's quite obvious, quite cut and dry, like Lucky's hit on Young, how that very could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think even to a lesser extent, but Zeebel's trip on Sard, like that was pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, well,
He's just
again.
too slow,
Yeah.
too slow and old to catch him.
Like he was obviously not going to be able to tackle him at all.
Yeah.
So
And see, if you don't get punished for that, that's a win from memory. That's a win for North Melbourne because I think Sardi was off, wasn't he? And Zeebel wasn't going to catch him.
Yeah.
So if you trip him over, you get a free kick. That's a huge win for North Melbourne. If that pulls the player back.
Yeah.
So
it's like the old ankle tap in rugby, but
Yeah.
yeah,
it's dangerous in
wouldn't
footy.
know the first thing about rugby, but How was we won't touch on it too much. But how was we did get more free kicks by about 10, I think, something like that. Like quite a few more.
We did get a lot in the last quarter when the game was dead and buried. North were just giving away free
What's your
kicks.
opinion on the umpiring, mate?
It was very average. Like there's both ways. It was just horrible, and I just think umpires that aren't up to standard should not be umpiring at AFL level. Like when it's cut and dry, you're not good enough.
No matter who you are, no matter what gender you are, whatever.
If you're not up to the standard, it's frustrating.
Absolutely, completely agree. Alrighty, we'll move on to our many questions that we have, boys. We've sort of already touched on it a bit, but hearing Stocker.
We've been flooded with messages, but we're just gonna pick one.
Yeah.
Today.
Look, it's tough. It was tough to decide, but I've gone with Khaled one. Hearing Stocker and Young could be suspended. We obviously spoke about that heavily. Do you have any information just on that for us, Speechley?
So we're appealing, as they said, we're appealing the Young ban, and Stocker is just letting go because he's missing time anyway, so there's no point. That's the news on that. So hopefully we'll find out if Young gets off or not. I don't think he will personally because the AFL is pretty cut and dry when it comes to the high impact, but I hope so.
Absolutely. Alrighty, we will. Commanding win in the VFL. I'm not sure if you boys didn't get down. We were there, obviously. You were there for a bit of it. I was there for all of it because I'm a real supporter. You boys weren't there at all.
I was playing footy at the time.
Playing footy. How did you kick?
No, mate. Had a fair bit of it. We won by 10 goals. So.
Yeah.
Solid game.
You had the week off, I believe.
Yeah, mate. Concussion protocols.
Yeah,
high contact.
good.
You feeling alright, mate?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, fine, mate. Actually, all good. Should return this week.
Beautiful.
I did find it interesting, just to touch on the VFL, that both the seniors and the twos had the same score.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
17
Same goals,
14.
And North Melbourne went far off. It was like
typical North.
Inconsistent. Huge win in the VFL, huge win in the AFL. We cannot complain there, boys. But who was your best on for VFL, just out of curiosity?
You probably have to go Paddy Dow, wouldn't you? 32 touches.
Yeah.
Tommy's right. He'll probably be in this week now. We don't have any key defenders because Kempy got injured
Yeah.
in the twos.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he went off early.
So I heard he got injured, then I heard it was precautionary. I don't know what to believe.
But we don't
He
know.
did sit behind us, so we was sat and watched the last quarter a bit, so we don't know what happened there. But
we'll find out, I guess.
we'll find
Maybe.
out. Let us know if you do know. Just let us know.
Yeah.
We don't know everything.
Carlton likes to tell us
some of
things
us
about
think we do,
injuries,
but-
so I guess we'll find out.
Absolutely. All right, so that's about it, boys. Anything else you want to add?
Big week coming up. I think. Obviously we're talking about it in the preview, but Adelaide had a terrible performance against the Giants. I think they're very unpredictable.
Yeah,
I think they'll be better than the Kangas, but I think I'm quite confident we can get the job done.
I think they'll need to bounce back as well. So, big game.
Do you want to give us an early prediction?
Early prediction: Blues by 42.
Blues by 41.
10 goals.
The Crom by 70. What do you mean?
I love Paddo's differing tip to mine. I'll go 42. 41.
41.
Not what it does. This is like the Price is Right. You have to be spot on, but he can take anything over or under, whichever way it works. All right. That's it from us, boys, I think. And if you're not already, obviously follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I've memorised this now. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok.
And OnlyFans coming soon.
OnlyFans coming soon.
Just for some
Exclusive
content.
And that's a podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and of course YouTube. If you want to see
Footy Live app.
Gorgeous faces. Footy Live app as well, thank you, where you'll see me personally writing a match review and preview. Very well written.
Very well written.
Some good English in there. And that's about it for me, boys. About you, Pato?
All done, boys. And as always, boys, up the baggers.